My family wants me to forgive my brother after he tried to grape my fiancée. My fiancée and I first crossed paths nearly 7 years ago in college. Our mutual friends introduced us, and about a year later, our friendship blossomed into a romantic relationship. When I introduced her to my family, they were thrilled, including my mother, who is typically reserved around outsiders. At this point, it's crucial to mention my brother. Before the incident, he was more than just a sibling to me, he was my role model. I admired his tenacity and protectiveness towards me and our sister. He always encouraged us to stand our ground and to never let anyone belittle us, reminding us we had every right to live here just like anyone else. When my girlfriend and he met, they quickly became friends. As time progressed, my girlfriend grew closer to my family, especially my siblings. Given her strong bond with my family, it was not unusual for her to spend time with other family members. She went shopping with my sister and mother, played billiards with my cousins and me, and was a regular at every family gathering. It was at one of these family functions that everything took a dramatic turn. Most of us at the party, including myself, had too much to drink, to the point where I fell asleep on the floor in my parents' living room. After the party, my girlfriend seemed noticeably distressed. When I inquired about her unusual behavior, she confided in me, "I think your brother tried to kiss me." I was so taken aback by her revelation that the lingering effects of the alcohol instantly faded. I asked her to tell me everything that had happened. She told me that several of the guests had gone to the roof to drink, seeking to feel the wind or something akin to that. One by one, they all left until only she and my brother were left up there. They continued drinking for a while, and during their conversation, she noticed my brother intensely staring at her. Suddenly, he bent down trying to kiss her. However, she was quick enough to dodge it. The atmosphere became extremely uncomfortable after that, prompting her to leave. After she finished recounting the events, I drove her home. Later, I confronted my brother and asked him to clarify the whole situation. His account was essentially the same as hers, providing his perspective of the incident. He apologized, blaming his inappropriate actions on excessive alcohol consumption. Remembering that conversation angers me to this day. At that moment, I had thought it was just a minor incident, something that could be resolved through dialogue and by setting boundaries. I couldn't have predicted what was about to happen next. After the party, my brother and I had a strained relationship. We hardly ever spoke, and when we did, it was as polite and formal as strangers. The only other person who knew about this incident was my younger sister. My girlfriend had revealed the story to her when she asked why my brother and I had grown distant. We decided not to share this with the rest of the family, fearing it would cause further fractures in our relationships. A few months later, my family organized another party where a lot of people were invited. At this point, I had hoped that enough time had passed since the kissing incident and that this event might be a step towards normality. However, things took a turn for the worse. At some point during the party, I couldn't find my girlfriend. I looked for her for a while, presuming that she might be with my sister. But, an unsettling thought led me to check the rooms upstairs. As I ascended the stairs, I heard strange noises coming from one of the rooms. Upon opening the door, I was met with a horrifying sight. My brother was forcibly pinning my girlfriend to the bed, his hand covering her mouth and attempting to go underneath her dress, while she was desperately resisting. In a fit of rage, I pounced on my brother, beating him mercilessly. My girlfriend managed to leave the room and went downstairs to seek help. When my father and uncles arrived, I was still on top of my brother, who was now bloodied and battered. My father had to forcibly separate us, but I continued to hurl insults at my brother, while still attempting to hit him. Once we were separated, my father asked me what had happened. It took me a while to form coherent sentences, but I finally revealed that I had caught my brother attempting to abuse my girlfriend. My father, in shock, sat on the floor in silence for about 10 minutes until my uncles called him to take my brother to the hospital. After my brother was taken away, I found my girlfriend talking to my sister, recounting the horrifying ordeal. We left the party immediately, and on our ride back home, my girlfriend was inconsolable. She was confused, angry, and the crying continued until she fell asleep. This was her routine for the next couple of days, crying until exhaustion forced her to sleep. During these days, my family kept me updated about my brother's condition. I had broken his nose and dislocated his jaw. My mother was in denial, unable to believe that her son was capable of such a horrific act. I understood that each person reacts differently to shocking news, but it did little to reduce the anger I felt. The last thing I heard about my brother was that he had lost his job and left town as a consequence of his actions. For the following weeks, I cut off almost all contact with the outside world and focused on helping my girlfriend. She was handling the situation as best she could, still frightened about the incident and drained of energy. Almost a month later, she mustered the courage to go to work. But she returned after a few hours, explaining that she felt constantly threatened and in danger, feeling as though at any moment someone was going to try to do something bad to her.